Hey everybody, it's Melanie coming to you from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. Welcome back to my house. We made it home yesterday morning after a 14-hour drive, and we went to Tallahassee to get some dinner, and I apparently Googled a place that put like Delta 8 and Kush related stuff, hemp, all that stuff in the food. Or CBD and Delta 8, and there might have been a different one. I didn't realize this when I Googled this place. And so they sell this like medicated food, vegan food, and it was all vegan, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, it was in a really bad part of town, like really bad, where our daughters got to learn what prostitutes are and why people sit on the side of the road on bags of garbage. And it was an eye-opening moment and a learning moment. And hey, it's homeschool, right, guys? Like, we lived in Durham, North Carolina, which has a pretty intense population of badness, I guess, in certain areas. Bars on the windows, drug dealers on the corner, really sketchy. I had to drive through that neighborhood to go take our one daughter to school. People drinking on the porch and doing drugs at 8:30 in the morning. It's cool. But this was the most frightened I'd ever felt for some reason, just because we were out of our element. We didn't know where we were. Like back in Durham, I would have known like how to navigate to get away, but there I didn't have any clue like where the good neighborhood started and where the rough one ended. There were very scary big men standing on corners. There were young boys on bikes. It was sketchy. But aside from all that, we found a lovely restaurant. That was an interesting journey as well. So that was a restaurant with a lot of people that are the people, like, I don't even know how to say it anymore without offending people, but I don't care. And we talked about it and they were cool with it. But it was a bar with vegan food, and it definitely had a pride theme going on throughout it, and props to them. That's awesome. I just needed to get some vegan food for my kids so we could get back on the road, because it was we just needed to eat and go. So drove overnight, got home yesterday morning, had the most fabulous vacation that we've ever had. Every vacation, every year, it all gets better and better, like step by step, piece by piece. It's not like going from nothing, rags to riches or whatever. Like, it's been this progressive changeover where before our families had to all donate to give us money to be able to go on vacation. And now I drive to New York 2-3 times a year. The whole family goes. Well, Chris doesn't always go if it's summertime or fall, but I go in every time, obviously. But we're able to afford that now. Like, there's just been really cool stuff that's happened, and like being able to rent a boat and go onto this like tiny island somewhere where not a lot of people have access to, and it ends up being the only sunny place in the panhandle of Florida that day. We were surrounded by clouds on all sides, and we got like the blue, beautiful, crystal clear water and clouds, and just wonderful memories with our friends. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. And Chris's mom came, and we had a blast, and she's making blankets, and she's hanging out and cooking and hanging with the kids if we wanted to go somewhere. So we said, Grammy Susan's going to hit the road with us every time we go with the girls and see where all the adventures take us. But today's video, I wanted to touch on, I posted a video, I'm posting it today, talking about like why the stuff is happening around the world and my perspective on it. It's not the truth, because like, who knows anymore. Give me just 1 second. I needed to get myself some of my tea, because we're going to talk about this too. And one more thing. Nope, that thought just fled. All right, I'm going to continue forward. In the video that I posted today, I talk about like we eat a whole foods plant-based diet. And not everybody knows, because there's new people coming on here all the time. And I appreciate you guys following along and checking this out. And it's so awesome to have like, to be able to make these connections. Because like all the shit that I'm doing in my life, I am only doing because I learned shit on YouTube. So welcome to the YouTube club of learning, growing, and evolving your mind to higher places. I would always listen to YouTube when I was cleaning the house or doing artwork or just doing something that was stationary, I'd be listening to podcasts and learning and taking in the information. And so we learned about a vegan diet from a neighbor, but then I started reading article after article and started listening to YouTube. Dr. Greger, Dr. Barnard, those were people that I listened to in the beginning. However, I do not align with their beliefs of vaccination anymore, and have gone a different route as to that. However, they're really good about talking about the impact of plant-based diet on the body system and why it helps and why it works. And if you do it right, it works. I've been doing this 6.5 years, not only for myself, but my husband and the 3 girls. And we're the healthiest people we know. I break my arm. I just fucking deal with it. Like, I don't go to the doctor. I don't want to go to the doctor. I want to live my life. And with the knowledge that I have from nursing, we're able to bypass all of that stuff. Kids still get sick, but it's not as bad, and they have a much quicker recovery time, and they feel good and have high energy most of the time. And behavioral issues they're there because it's part of growing, and it's like figuring out that you can't yell and scream at people when you need something. Like, that's a 7-year-old, 8-year-old time period for some people. Learning how to talk to people in a kind way and all of those things is all a learning process. It's growing, but no, like, throw themselves on the floor screaming, no punching walls, no, not the inability to sleep. Only if we give them chocolate in the afternoon do they have that. We don't have any of that issue. No, like, stomach aches all the time, no diarrhea, none. We'd never had, like, it's a rare fucking occasion when we have diarrhea, and it's always after eating crap food out somewhere. That would be the time that they would get it. And by crap food, I mean the vegan options that were available at the time. So yeah, that's part of the reason as to why, but I haven't talked about this, and I've known about this for years, and I haven't talked about it in years because people thought I was crazy when I started talking about it. Having just watched this mini-series called Chernobyl, I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime. I'm a little dehydrated, hang on. Having watched that series reminded me to, like, talk about why we do this. And so there were many times that I thought maybe we should go back to eating meat. And then there'd always be something about radiation pop up into my surroundings, into my life, like on TV or somebody talking about it outside or whatever. And it'd click back. Fukushima. Fukushima is a nuclear reactor, and it's on the coast of the Pacific Ocean in Japan. And it was totaled by a tsunami in 2011. Chernobyl got pretty much fully cleaned up in a matter of a couple of years. Oh, and in my last video, I have to go and do an edit. I said that Chernobyl happened in 88, but it actually happened in 86. There were dates on the bottoms of the screen as the stuff was going by, and one of the dates that just stuck out was 88 because that was the year, I believe, that the Valerie guy, who was in control of cleaning up the mess, and he was like the head nuclear physicist in the country, that's when he committed suicide. And so yeah, they got that cleaned up in a matter of a couple of years and built a dome. I think the dome was completed in 1994 or 95. This nuclear reactor has been leaching radiation for now, since 2011. We're on 12 years, guys. We're going on 12 years of this shit. And it was March of that year. I believe it was March 11th. That radiation has been flowing around in our atmosphere. And that radiation has been floating around and getting into our water, getting into the ground, getting into the food, getting into the fish, getting into the birds, getting into the eggs of the birds, getting into everything. And if you watch Chernobyl, you will truly understand how that happens. And it's mind-blowing. And so the reactor crashing in Chernobyl did all of that to the surrounding areas, and like people's skin melted off. They did a great job of portraying what severe radiation burning looks like, how it progresses. There's a lot of similar symptoms happening up in the Ohio River Valley area. We talked about how they believe that to be intentional. So all of these chemicals over there, but as well as in the Fukushima area, we're leaching into the atmosphere, leaching everywhere, and it just keeps producing. It doesn't stop. I remember watching videos about it in 2017 and how they would drive the robots into the nuclear reactor trying to get it like covered up and bury it, and they would just melt because of the high power of radiation. When helicopters tried to fly over the smokestack or over the explosion site and dump sand and boron on the reactor to get it to stop burning and releasing so much toxic radiation into the atmosphere just to decrease it by a lot, the helicopters legit fell out of the sky. They fucking fell out of the sky. So in 2017, when I came to learn about Fukushima, I hadn't really thought about it or heard about it. Yes, the media talks about it, but then it disappears and we stop thinking about it. I realized, and I connected something, that when I'm eating radiated food, such as lettuce or a carrot or an apple or an orange or a lemon, whatever it is, probably has some kind of radiation contamination at this point. I'm ingesting that and I'm eating it and I'm taking on that amount of radiation. When you eat an animal, when you eat a chicken or you eat a cow or you eat a pig or you eat a fish, that animal has already eaten the radiated food. So whether it's a carnivorous animal, as a fish can be, where it's going to eat the smaller fishes, those little fishes were eating the plants. And so the more predatory species that you are eating, you are in fact increasing your radiation contamination by a whole lot. I know this sounds out there. I know this sounds crazy, but I've been talking about this stuff with friends and family for the last 6.5 years of my life as to why we made the changes and did what we did to get our bodies healthy, because I didn't want to live in a hell anymore. I wanted to make and create my own heaven. And I was living literally in hell. It may have been hell in here. I might not have been physically burning with flames on the exterior of my body, but I can guarantee you I was burning with the flames on the inside of my body and trying to take my own life because I hated being here. I do what I do for my body and for my family to make sure that we can live the best life possible here on this planet and live out our journey. We're supposed to be living our journeys. We're supposed to be walking and doing things and going places and breaking arms. Like, hello. And you know what? Maybe if the food wasn't so shitty, I wouldn't have broken my arm. Maybe if we had the food that God had originally intended for us to have, that like you're not getting these GMO lemons that don't have any fucking seeds, or like the seed of the avocado pits like this big now. It's weird. And so what if we were eating all of the foods that we were intentionally meant to eat and getting all of the nutrition that God created instead of all of this modified crap that man tries to create? Because we all know now, anything that man's trying to do and they're like, oh yeah, it's totally safe. Titanic, no. The blankets they brought over filled with smallpox, they said that was safe. No. Chernobyl, that was like, and the whole thing about Chernobyl, they knew that there was a faulty reactor, but they didn't want to hurt their ego or hurt their pride by admitting there was a problem. There's so many times throughout history that the shit that man creates, God's like, yeah, no. And I kind of feel like that's what's happening now with all of these chemical plants bursting into flames. Maybe it's fucking God. Maybe it's the UFOs. I don't know who it is. It doesn't really matter, but this shit's popping off everywhere. And so the way to stay strong for as long as possible, if you want to keep having fun and have the best life that you can live while you can have it here, is by eating as healthy as you possibly can and ditching all the shit that they're trying to fill you with to keep you sedentary and keep you feeling like crap and keep you going back to the fucking medical establishment who doesn't actually care about you. They care about the bottom dollar. When I was in orientation all those 14 different fucking times, all they ever fucking talked about was, how do we increase profits? How do we decrease waste so we can save more profits? How can we do this? How can we do that? The patient is a number, but we're not going to tell them that they're a customer. They're coming for a service. It was fucking weird, but I didn't know because I was in it. I was stuck in it. Some of y'all might be stuck in it. That's okay. When you recognize that you have a problem, that is when you can finally fix and solve the problem. Yay! So yeah, that's my video as to why we eat the way that we do and why I made the changes back then and why I've stuck to the changes. Yes, I'm a vegan. Yes, I really do this for the animal welfare. Like, I don't want to exploit anybody. I don't want to use anybody. I want to provide love and care to the animals that are in my life to the best of my ability so they don't have to suffer anymore. But I don't want to eat those things just for that reason alone. Second reason is that radiation shit. And I truly believe that like that has made a huge impact in the increase of disease worldwide. Worldwide, people be dropping like flies. And I also want to talk about that because I mentioned it in the comment or in the description box below on the other video. I'm going to be posting a grief and healing video and processing the grief of losing the people close to us because this is happening. It's happening very quickly, and it's going to be the folks that are choosing to do different left behind. Because we can't sustain the crap that's been going on any longer at all. Oh, and so I had another revelation as to part of the reason why I'm going through my arm thing. Really like the power of healing that the human body is capable of totally on its own. Like I broke my right hand back in 2017 falling off a skateboard. And I got back on the skateboard because we shouldn't live in fear of things. And if you're going to fall, then you learn not to fall. And that's what I did. And now skateboarding is like a huge part of my life, especially in the summertime. If I can stop getting injured. That healed, but it took time. My back and how messed up everything's been with that, it's healed, but it took time. I was just to the point of like, awesome, 3 months, healing, great, feeling so much better. So part of the reason that I believe that this happened was that I could make more YouTube video action for you guys. We are still in the process of finding a farm for Lucky. We are still in the process of manifesting a farm for Lucky. I have a horse. He is 21 years old. I've had him since he was 2. He needs a home where he can be cared for every single day, twice a day without fail, and be fed the best of the best so that he can also live his earthly life out to the best of his ability. I want him to have so much room to roam that he can't see the fence from where he ends up, and that he has so much freedom to just be him and be free and eat grass and not have to eat all this crap hay and just live his best little lucky life. And so if you know of something, let me know about it in the comments and I will totally get your contact information. If you want to donate to the cause, leave it in the comments and I'll hook you up with my email, and Venmo is an option, PayPal is an option. But we really are manifesting this to save his life. He's got heaves. He doesn't need any more steroids to fix him. He doesn't need any more Zyrtec to fix him. He needs his mother. His real mother's gone and passed, but he needs this mother to take care of him and to be there for him, because if I don't do it, no one else is. So if you want to help, please let me know. We would love any assistance would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I think that might be it. I should do bullet points so that there's no lag time, but I don't really care because life, that's also like why I don't do the editing and I don't do all the crap associated with all these YouTube videos, is because, hey, like, why aren't we seeing people in their entirety? I don't wear makeup for a reason. I just want to be me. I just want to be here and be who God created. Like, I don't need to change anything. But yeah, we're going to do the video of grief and loss. We're going to do a video talking about a love journey, a love soul journey. I'm going to tell you guys the journey of Christopher and Mai's experience. Mai's, that's not a word. Our experience together as husband and wife, and how we got to where we are today, and the work that we needed to go through to get here, because it has not all been happy and rainbows. It has been far from happy and rainbows many, many times, but there's one thing that we chose to do. So I was going to share that journey with you guys in a video. And I think that might be it. So I'm going to sign off. Hope you all have a blessed day. Hope you all get your peace, love, and namaste. If not from me, somebody else in your life. We're going to pick up some 5 bunnies, and maybe y'all help us with some names. If you have names for little bunnies, leave them in the comment section below. All right. Oh, and establishing boundaries within the relationship so that you guys can grow together as a team. All right. That was another video. Hasta la pasta, my friends. Adios.